Good morning. Oh my Lord, that was a lot louder than I expected. Good morning, everyone. Well, why don't we just say great morning? I'm going to try that again. I'm going to say good morning. Please use your outside voices. Good morning.
Good morning.
Much better, much better. It's a pleasure to be here. It's quite the honor to welcome you to Cambridge this morning with such an excited announcement. I'm joined by my colleague, Representative Decker, Representative Conley, Representative Lawn, our city manager, and there's a few folks I don't know to call, but I try to use as much protocol. One that, this announcement is one that underscores the continued strength of the state's life science sector and the essential role Cambridge plays within it. So we're proud, very proud, to be home to so much innovation, talent, opportunity, and no one understands the importance of harnessing the potential quite like our governor. That's technology innovation calling, just ignore it. Governor Healey has been a tireless advocate for inclusiveness, economic growth, and for investing in our industries that shape our future, and for creating pathways into high-quality careers for people across the Commonwealth. I was just talking momentarily with Dana about how we want to enrich the lives of particularly women and girls. Correct, Representative Decker?
Absolutely.
Her leadership continues to move Massachusetts forward, and today's announcement is just an example of that. So please, with a hearty welcome, join me in welcoming our governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Maura Healey. Thank you so much, Maura. Always great to be in Cambridge.
Thank you so much, Mayor Simmons. It's always great to be in Cambridge and great to be here this morning at Lila Sciences to announce some really important new statewide investments in life sciences, in discovery, in innovation. These are investments that are going to lead to new cures, new treatments, better quality of life, better outcomes for people, and also will create great jobs and continue to extend Massachusetts' global lead in the innovation economy. I want to recognize and thank partners who are here with me. That includes our CEO of the Massachusetts Life Sciences Center, Kirk Taylor, board members including Dana Mendenhall of Takeda, Dr. Thea James of Boston Medical Center, Val Fleischman of Massachusetts Health and Hospital Association, Pam Rindha of Empirico, Assistant Secretary for Business Growth, Naomi Berlin of our Economic Development team, and alongside legislative leaders, including Representative Decker, Representative Conley, and Representative Lawn. I thank you all for your continued partnership on this and other endeavors. I also want to say it's just great. I had an opportunity to talk to Jeff and members of Lila's team just a few moments ago. And first of all, it's so exciting that you all are here, that you're here in Massachusetts and that you're doing what you're doing. It's not a typical story of a few folks who came here to study, to learn, to do research, went on to found companies, and are part of our incredible ecosystem here. And so, Jeff, I just want to thank you and everyone at Lila Sciences and Flagship Pioneering for your many, many contributions, not just to making Massachusetts the powerhouse that it is in this space, but for what you're delivering around the world. I know Nubar, speaking of around the world, is out of the country right now, and so he couldn't be here, but I just am grateful to Flagship and the team and your optimism and your investment in Massachusetts leadership. Lila Sciences is a truly exciting company that is going to expand the boundaries of what's possible. Jeff's going to explain it more. I barely have my head around it, but basically think about AI superintelligence. Think about generating scientific discovery at an exponential pace, which is going to result in findings and developments happening like so much quicker. And it's super cool that Lila is a company that's figuring this out, that is working on this, and is going to make this possible. And it's unbelievable just having heard a little bit of what is happening, what is in the works. I am so, so excited. It's also a real synergy with our economic development bill, the Mass Leads Act. Remember, we filed that last year, and we leaned heavily into applied AI, and we also made renewed investments in life sciences. And what Lila's doing represents really the intersection of those two things. And it's an example of how we're trying to position ourselves in our administration through tax credits and other supports that we give, are trying to support and nurture this incredible ecosystem here in Massachusetts. So what are we doing today? Today, I'm announcing that we're investing $30 million in 33 life sciences companies that have pledged to create more than 1,500 jobs. 100 jobs right here at Lila Sciences. Another 100 jobs down in Norton at Anilum. Another 80 jobs in Acton at Insulet. Cipla in Fall River will see 70 jobs. Vertex in Boston, 300 jobs. I could go on. We have Rev Bio in Lowell. Novo Nordics in Lexington, Sharp Sterile Manufacturing in Lee, which is out in Berkshire County, so really across the state, and so many more. This is a major statewide investment. It's made possible by the Mass Leads Act, which includes a 10-year extension of the Life Sciences Initiative. Now, as part of that investment, and I thank the legislature, we put forward a bill, we worked together, we got it done. We did something in that bill that was special. We extended the annual tax credit award by 33%, from $30 million to $40 million. Okay, that's a big deal, that extra money. Now, we're getting $30 million out today, but we're going to get the remaining $10 million out in the next round of funding very shortly. I want that money out and invested as quickly as possible. We're doubling down on our commitment to the life sciences industry. We're also making a statement at this moment. When we see cuts from the federal administration to NIH funding, NSF funding, attacks on our colleges and universities and research institutions, the dismantling of panels and studies through the CDC, we are going in a different direction in Massachusetts. Because the actions by the federal government are hurting scientists, hurting innovation, hurting patients who are awaiting cures and treatments, and really hurting America in terms of our competitiveness and our leadership in the world. But we're going to make sure that in Massachusetts, we're going in the right direction, making America safer, healthier, more competitive, and establishing our leadership in this space. And Massachusetts is so well positioned to do this because we've got the labs, we've got the super talented people, we've got the innovators, we've got the policies, and we've got funding all aligned right now in this moment to go. Next week, Bio International is going to be here in Boston. Super, super exciting. They're coming from all over the world. This is the largest annual event in the life sciences industry. And Bio comes to Massachusetts because we are the global capital. 95% of the world's biggest biotech companies are here. Over 6,000 active clinical trials are currently underway in our state. We're #1 in venture capital funding and NIH funding per capita. And in no small measure, this sector employs 160,000 people around our state in great jobs that support a whole range of economic activity and public services. Just over the last few years, the companies in Massachusetts have produced vaccines, treatments, cures for cystic fibrosis, sickle cell, Alzheimer's, diabetes, COVID, and so much more. And it's a big reason that we were recently named the best state economy in the country. It's about education and innovation. It's about talent and jobs. That's what we've got going on here in Massachusetts. That's what we've got to nurture, support, and take care of. So when I go to Bio next week, my message will be that Massachusetts is investing, that Massachusetts is open for business, and Massachusetts is committed to discovery. We're the world's hub of healing, a place where hope begins for patients and their families all around the world. And today, Massachusetts offers more value than ever to life science leaders, investors, innovators, and entrepreneurs. I just want to thank all of you out there in the field working hard every single day. I'll make sure as governor we're doing everything that we can to support you and your teams. And now I'd like to turn it over to my colleague, Mass Life Sciences CEO Kirk Taylor, to say more. I
Please.
also want to acknowledge City Manager Wong. too.
Yes, please.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes.
He's also building housing.
That's right, that's right. You know, on this gorgeous day today, the housing say, this is why we live here. You know, this is one of the reasons why we live here. So I want to say immediately thank you, Governor. It's always an honor to be on the podium with you, but also all the work you do and support you've given the MLSC, the Massachusetts Life Sciences Center. To all the board members, to all the dignitaries in the House, the mayor, good to see you. I want to say thank you. It's incredibly exciting to be here, and thank you, Lila, and all the colleagues from Lila, Jeff, for hosting us and giving us this type of hospitality. This is what makes my job incredibly exciting and rewarding and enriching. For those of you who don't know the history of Massachusetts Life Sciences Center, born around 2007, 2008, it's the #1 life sciences hub, not just in the state, but in the country, and some would say the world. And that's because of the flexibility, the innovation, the passion, and the talent that we have here. And we partner expertly in medical research, industry, and of course in healthcare equity. And I'm very proud to say healthcare equity, and I know the governor and the lieutenant governor also underscore that. We're not afraid to say that, and I will continue to say that. Everyone deserves good health. Today's announcement is exciting. It's just one of many incredible things happening across the state of the Commonwealth. But we're here today and with the other awardees, and I thank you for that. I think some even Joven from New Jersey got up at 3 in the morning, so I applaud you for doing that. That's an incredible achievement. Today, as the governor mentioned, you know, we're actually launching the next round or cycle of tax incentives. We're not stopping. We have work to do and we have money to give out. This has been going on like 2 decades, support that the state has been given to the taxpayers, to the labs, to the innovation here in Cambridge, as well as other parts of Massachusetts, Worcester, and all the way up. Yesterday, Joe and I, a colleague, we met with one of our senior legislators, and she was telling us a story, and it struck me, and she said, you know, in tough times, when you're having a fight, and you have to learn, you have to have faith, you have to fight the battle, and then, of course, with this Mass Leads Act, we have funding. So a nice alliteration there. Have faith, fight the good fight, and then now we have the funding to do it. And from a cultural perspective, we always say fight the good fight. Stand strong, look forward, don't be afraid. Use the tools that we have. Look around us. We have all types of people and backgrounds, but also industries here to do exactly what we're here for, and that's innovation in the sciences through the MLSC, through the taxpayers, but also through the programs. And in talking with Jeff, it's to expedite treatments, because at the end of all of this is a patient, and patients are waiting. So as the governor said, next week we host BIO, and we're going to hope to see all of you there. We're going to roll out in a firm launch plan the MLSC 3.0, which is part of the LEADS Act, and something that the governor and lieutenant governor have certainly supported. So with that, we will share our successes there. We look to see you all there. We're honored to be here with Lila and to be here with all of you. And I want to thank you for allowing me and the governor for having this moment to talk to you. Thank you. Now I want to introduce my friend and the city manager of Cambridge, Yuan Ong.
Thank you so much, Dr. Taylor. Kirk, and I think we've both been too busy, but I haven't forgotten that I still owe you lunch, so we got to have you back in Cambridge. We really couldn't ask for a better leader to boost life sciences in Cambridge and beyond, and so I'm so excited for the partnership and the work that's happening with MSLC. Thank you as well to Governor Healey for your leadership. Your commitment to investing and growing the innovation economy has been extraordinary, and we are really seeing around the world that science and business thrive when government is a partner. The Mass Life Sciences Center is a key part of that collaboration. The Mass Leads Act is an enormous move forward, and it's how we're going to maintain our global competitiveness. If the United States is going to be number one in life sciences research, then Massachusetts is going to lead the way, and this kind of support is the path to making America strong and prosperous. And I'm so proud that Cambridge is at the heart of that ecosystem, and we recognize the importance of universities, institutions, researchers and scientists, investors and entrepreneurs to making all of this happen. And the city is behind that. I think the mayor, the city council, the city administration, we understand what it means to have this kind of an ecosystem in our city, to build the infrastructure that supports it. And in particular, the governor mentioned housing. We are making enormous strides toward creating a policy environment that allows more housing construction to address a lot of the shortages that make it hard for people to live here, to be close to Kendall Square, and to enjoy the community that we're so proud of. And if I can share one thought as I look around the room, we need the best people to tackle the most important scientific challenges that our world is facing. And that's been what has kept this country strong, vibrant, and on the leading edge. It's welcoming the smartest minds to contribute and be part of our teams. I know that as CEOs, that's what you're all looking for, and it's what we're looking for in our communities. And it's welcoming the Albert Einsteins, the Niels Bohrs, and it's recognizing the George Washington Carvers who may not have been given a chance if we were not open to looking at the scientific value that they are bringing. It's a common and shared human impulse to discover and invent, and we need to nurture that. And that's always been part of what this city represents, this Commonwealth represents, and I hope this country represents. And I see that drive in these companies to push beyond the normal way that we do things, to accelerate our ability to make new discoveries, and I'm eager for the successes to come from all of these initiatives. So really excited about this, and since we're talking about making big bets and doing things differently, perhaps that's the best segue for introducing Jeff von Malzahn, the CEO of Lila Sciences and our host for this morning. I'm so excited to hear from you, excited about the tour, and excited about all that is happening through this great work. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jeff.
So thank you, City Manager Huang. Thank you, Dr. Taylor. Thank you, Governor Healey, and thank you, Mayor Simmons. We're incredibly grateful to have the privilege of this award and honor and support. And we're at the beginning of what we believe is a very important mission that I'll tell you a little bit about. So I'm Jeff von Malzahn. As mentioned, I'm the co-founder and CEO of Lila. I'm also a general partner at Flagship Pioneering. Flagship is celebrating its 25th birthday this year. Those of you from Flagship in the audience, many from Lila, know that every year in that journey has been hard fought, and getting 25 years into a journey of creation and survival as important as Flagship's, we think is a marvel, and we hope it is still the very beginning. 25 years ago, I was also a young kid down the street at MIT, and I started falling in love with life sciences based on what a wonderful mentor described as a transition during our lives from biology being a guessing game to what he called a knowing game. And although that sounds simple, the implications of that shift will be almost without bound, in that the vast majority of medicines that benefit our loved ones and us today were a result of an educated guessing game. And on the other side of that shift, our medicine's sort of beyond our wildest imagination is how many diseases never happen, how many get prevented and outright cured. And the driver of that transition is going to be AI. Now, since the beginning of Flagship, almost every company has had a version of artificial intelligence at its core. And that's driven by the team inside of Flagship and AI teams across each of the companies at their formation and beyond. And almost every one of those companies starts with a seemingly simple what-if statement. That what-if statement comes from teams that are trying to dream about what the future could hold. And that what-if statement for Lila was that what if AI could reinvent the most valuable wheel that has ever existed? that wheel isn't the wheel on your car or on a wagon or a bicycle, but the wheel that is most valuable is the scientific method itself. The reason to think of it as such is the wheel of the scientific method is what led to every one of those other wheels and nearly every technology in our lives. And from the era of Isaac Newton to today, human minds and hands have been in the very center of that wheel of the scientific method all along. What we began to ask a few years ago was, what if we could build AI systems that could bring a higher level of intelligence to every step in that process? So what we are trying to build at Lila is a kind of beautiful scientific mind that can call on tools to model the way that the world works, autonomously propose hypotheses, design decisive experiments, then with the help of brilliant teams and robotics and automation and instrumentation, run those experiments in the real world, interpret the results, and then at 3 o'clock in the morning, set the next wheel in motion. We are convinced that is the future of something like 100% of the frontiers of science. Life science is a subset of that, but it turns out if you solve the general version of the steps needed to do what I just described, not only is that applicable to life science, but it's applicable to the world of chemistry and the world of material science and this vast diversity of scientific pursuits that all has a common wheel of the scientific method in common, may very well be augmented by one mission of building a better mind with which to run the scientific method. So we've been operating in stealth for the past 3 years. This year we transitioned into building the first of what we call AI science factories. We believe that's like a Wright brothers moment for the future of science, in that all of the frontiers of science are in the human hands and minds paradigm, and they have been throughout human civilization. And this paradigm allows science to move into an era of higher intelligence, higher scale, and speed. In a sense, scientific intelligence is like the root node that defines the return on investment of science itself. And as Governor Healey and I were talking about earlier, if the return on investment in science goes up, then the scale of science is going to go way up. And our belief is that sometime over the course of the next 10 years, science is going to undergo this transition. And that accompanying that will be a scale of scientific pursuit and pace of progress that's unlike anything that we've ever seen. So we are humbled and grateful to be here in this moment. This might be the most important moment in the history of science. And accompanying that, it's a very important moment for the local life science community, for the state of Massachusetts, and we believe for the world. So I want to thank the group for the honor of the support and for being recognized among the other extraordinary companies that were described. And I'll hand it back to the governor for closing thoughts. Thank you all.
Thank you. Wow, wasn't that inspiring? That was so inspiring, Jeff. Thank you so much. Thank you for talking about Lila, and thank you for today representing the entirety of sort of what we're trying to do here, the companies, the innovation, the scientists, the team members who are part of this incredible ecosystem. It makes me so optimistic about the future, so hopeful about the future when you think about what's possible and how these technologies and inventions are going to change people's lives all around the world, But I love it happens from Massachusetts, of course. So with that, I want to wish congratulations to all the awardees and wish you continued success in your endeavors. We look forward to more growth and more celebrations. And as I say, there'll be an additional $10 million out the door in just a little bit. With that, we're happy to take any questions on topic. these cuts are terrible. They're terrible. They're terrible for science. They're terrible for innovation. They're terrible for our local economy. They're terrible for America's competitiveness and leadership in the world. So, you know, I've spoken about this extensively, that the cuts to health, science, research are making America weaker, less competitive, and less healthy. It makes no sense. So the question is, what do you do in the face of that? You continue to lean in, and we're doubling down on investments here in Massachusetts, in science, in research, in health. Today is an example of that, and once again shows Massachusetts' leadership in this space and our commitment to this space. Okay, great. Well, thanks everybody. Have a wonderful day.